Diabetes gets worse if you skip these 20 fruits. Today, we're going to explore the best fruits for people with diabetes. To understand more, I've conducted an exciting personal experiment. For 20 consecutive days, I ate one of the 20 most popular fruits each day. After each tasting, I checked my blood sugar levels after 1 hour to assess the increase in blood glucose. I also took time to delve into the fiber content, carbs, and glycemic index (GI) of each fruit. My goal was to find out if there's a correlation between these factors and how my blood sugar responded after eating the fruits. And now, I believe I've found the star fruit, which is in this bowl. But first, remember that I am not a doctor or nutritionist. I am just a person who has lived with diabetes for 35 years and has personal experience with the disease. Therefore, what I share is based on my own experiences and observations. Together, we will look at the 20 most popular fruits, categorizing them into 3 different groups based on how they affect blood sugar levels. I will categorize them into 3 groups. We have the blue bucket, containing fruits that only cause a slight increase in blood sugar levels. Next is the yellow bucket, with fruits that cause a moderate increase. Finally, the red bucket contains fruits that can spike blood sugar levels significantly. 1. Banana. A familiar fruit, bananas are an abundant source of vitamin B6 and potassium. A medium banana contains 23 grams of carbs per 100 grams. Subtracting 3 grams of fiber, we're left with 20 grams of net carbs. It's important to remember that more carbs can lead to higher blood sugar levels. Bananas have a GI glycemic index of 51, which isn't too high, but due to their high carb content, they can significantly raise blood sugar. From my monitoring, I've noticed a considerable increase in my blood sugar after eating a banana. Therefore, bananas are placed in the red bucket. However, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat bananas. The key is to consume them in reasonable amounts, especially those in the red bucket. For example, eating half a banana is fine, but you don't need to eat 3 at once. And if you're an insulin-dependent diabetic like me, pay attention to how much insulin is needed for each banana and the best time to inject it. 2. Apples. Apples, a source of vitamin C and many essential minerals, have fewer carbs than bananas. An average apple contains 14 grams of carbs per 100 grams. After subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we have 12 grams of net carbs. For me, fruits with less than 10 grams of net carbs per 100 grams are ideal, and apples fall within the 10 to 15 grams range. Apples have a GI of 39, a fairly good number according to the American Diabetes Association standards. However, when testing my blood sugar after eating an apple, I still noticed a slight increase. Therefore, apples are placed in the yellow bucket. Even so, I know that I can eat a larger amount of apple without worrying too much about my blood sugar, as long as I adjust my insulin dosage accordingly. 3. Strawberries. These delicious and appealing strawberries are not only a joy to taste but also have a low carb content due to being 90% water. For every 100 grams of strawberries, there's about 8 grams of carbs. Subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we are left with 6 grams of net carbs, making strawberries a fantastic choice for those monitoring their blood sugar levels. However, let's consider their glycemic index (GI) before drawing conclusions. With a GI of 39, they are nearly at my optimal threshold. When I check my blood sugar after enjoying strawberries, I am pleasantly surprised to find only a minor increase. This minor effect allows me to place strawberries in the green bucket. Strawberries are a top choice for me as I don't worry about the portion size and can enjoy them freely while ensuring I count the carbs and adjust my insulin dose according to my carb-to-insulin ratio. Now, I know many people enjoy blending strawberries into smoothies, and I admit they're incredibly tasty. But here's a caution: when you blend strawberries or any fruit, you break down most of the fiber, thus increasing the net carbs and GI. This leads to a higher and faster blood sugar increase when drinking strawberry smoothies compared to eating whole strawberries. 4. Oranges. We all know oranges are rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, but are they friendly to blood sugar levels? A medium orange contains about 12 grams of carbs per 100 grams. After subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we're left with 10 grams of net carbs, which isn't too bad. However, the GI of oranges is 45, slightly above my ideal mark of under 40. When I check my blood sugar after eating an orange, I notice a significant spike, though not as severe as bananas or grapes, and not as mild as strawberries. Therefore, oranges are placed in the yellow bucket alongside apples. Both fruits have a similar impact on my blood sugar levels. Now, you don't have to completely avoid oranges. From my experience, eating a whole orange is fine, just don't overdo it. If you're insulin dependent, just be sure to count those carbs and adjust your insulin dose accordingly. But beware, there's a pitfall many diabetics fall into: orange juice. A glass of orange juice contains all the carbs and sugar from 2 to 3 oranges but lacks the fiber, and the GI of orange juice is much higher than that of whole oranges. So, it's best to avoid the juice. 5. Watermelon. Another popular fruit in the summer can be somewhat complex. Some sources rank it among the top 10 best fruits for diabetics, while others list it among the worst. So, who to believe? Let's examine it ourselves. Watermelon has about 8 grams of carbs per 100 grams, which seems quite good. But consider this, watermelon is 92% water and has very little fiber, meaning the sugar from watermelon enters your bloodstream rapidly. This is reflected in its GI of 76, the highest among the top 20 fruits. When I eat a small bowl of watermelon, my blood sugar rises quickly, but not too high, from 100 to 150. But with a larger bowl, I see a spike to 200 within just 30 minutes, even with insulin. That's not ideal for me, so I place watermelon in the red bucket. I don't want to stop you from eating watermelon, but portion control is crucial with this fruit. Another tip is to eat watermelon as a dessert after a meal rich in fiber and healthy fats. Doing so, your body won't process the sugar from the watermelon as quickly. Avocado. This fruit truly is a powerhouse of healthy fats, vitamins, and nutrients. An average avocado contains 12 grams of carbs per 100 grams, but it also has an impressive 10 grams of fiber. When we subtract these 10 grams of fiber, we're left with only 2 grams of net carbs per 100 grams, a number that couldn't be more perfect. Moreover, in terms of the glycemic index, avocado has a GI of just 15, which is amazingly low. In my testing process, I've eaten avocados multiple times, and they have had virtually no impact on my blood sugar levels. I haven't noticed any significant spikes in blood sugar even after eating a few avocados at once. Therefore, after considering everything, I confidently place avocados in the green bucket. I simply eat as many avocados as I wish without needing any insulin for it. I truly love these fruits, but there's a caveat, especially if you're dieting. Avocados are high in calories. An average avocado contains about 240 calories, mainly from healthy fats. Personally, I'm not overly concerned about calorie intake since I'm not trying to lose weight at the moment, but it's something you might want to consider if you're in a different situation. Blueberries. These small fruits are packed with antioxidants and contain about 14 grams of carbs per 100 grams. After subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we end up with 12 grams of net carbs, slightly higher than my preferred level, similar to apples. The glycemic index of blueberries is 53, moderate compared to other popular fruits, but certainly higher than what I had expected. In fact, I had hoped that blueberries, often thought to be a good choice for diabetics, wouldn't increase blood sugar levels so significantly. However, when I checked my blood sugar after enjoying a bowl of blueberries, I found that my blood sugar levels rose quickly and gradually higher than I would like. Therefore, I am placing blueberries in the yellow bucket. As a type 1 diabetic, I can still enjoy a cup of blueberries without a high blood sugar spike, but I need to be cautious about 2 things. I need to bolus about 15 to 20 minutes before eating them and use the correct insulin dose depending on the carb content. Raspberries. Raspberries contain 10 grams of carbs per 100 grams, but after deducting an impressive 5 grams of fiber, we are left with only 5 grams of net carbs. This puts them in a lower carb range and looks very promising. But what about the glycemic index? The GI of raspberries is just 28, very low and comfortably within my sweet spot of under 40. After eating a significant amount of raspberries, I could see a minimal impact on my blood sugar levels. Therefore, raspberries will be placed in the green bucket. You can enjoy these without guilt, so feel free to indulge. They are game changers, but here's a word of caution. Many people like to make sauces or jams from raspberries, as well as other berries, or even apricots and peaches. I know these homemade jams and toppings taste fantastic, but here's the issue. To make jam or sauce, you need to cook these berries or any other fruit. When you do that, you break down some of the fiber and also remove the water, a major component in most fruits. Once the water is extracted, the carb content, especially the net carb content, will increase and your GI will rise, resulting in faster and higher blood sugar spikes. I'm not even talking about jams and sauces with added sugar, as that turns them into a completely different food, and we can no longer call it fruit. So, it's best to avoid those. Peaches. A deliciously sweet and nutritious fruit, are loaded with essential vitamins and minerals for health. Each 100 grams of peaches contains about 15 grams of carbohydrates. Subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we get 13 grams of net carbs. While this places peaches in a higher carb group compared to my preferred fruits, their glycemic index is 42, a fairly stable number. Through my testing, I've noticed a blood sugar increase after eating peaches, but not as abrupt as with fruits categorized in the red bin. In fact, peaches are even better than blueberries in some cases. Recently, I received a comment on YouTube from a reader pointing out that darker colored foods usually have a lower glycemic index compared to lighter colored foods and tend to break down into glucose faster. This is a fantastic observation and accurate in most cases.
Tangerines. A wonderful fruit high in vitamin C and brightly colored. Each 100 grams of tangerines contains about 14 grams of carbs, and after subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we get 12 grams of net carbs. The glycemic index of tangerines is 47, not too high, but also not within my ideal range. However, I notice a gradual increase in blood sugar after eating tangerines, not as rapid as with watermelon or cantaloupe.
Pineapple. With its alluring tropical flavor and richness in vitamin C, contains about 13 grams of carbs per 100 grams. Subtracting 1 gram of fiber, we get 12 grams of net carbs. However, the glycemic index of pineapple is quite high, at 59, surpassing my ideal threshold and even the ADA's recommendation. After testing, I've noticed a significant rise in blood sugar levels within just 40 minutes of consuming pineapple, placing it in the red fruit category. Plums. A juicy fruit rich in fiber, vitamin C, and potassium, contains about 11 grams of carbs per 100 grams. Subtracting 1 gram of fiber, we get 10 grams of net carbs. Interestingly, the glycemic index of plums is only 39, below my ideal threshold. I notice a slight and steady increase in blood sugar after eating plums, putting them in the green fruit category. Blackberries. A nutrient-rich berry with about 10 grams of carbs per 100 grams, but with an impressive 5 grams of fiber, leaving only 5 grams of net carbs. The glycemic index of blackberries is just 25, well within my ideal range. Upon testing, I found a minimal impact on my blood sugar levels, making blackberries a green category fruit that you can enjoy without worrying about a significant rise in blood sugar. I want to emphasize the importance of blood sugar control, especially for those with diabetes. Pear. A sweet and juicy fruit, is widely loved and packed with nutrients beneficial for health, including vitamin C, copper, and fiber. With 15 grams of carbs per 100 grams and 3 grams of fiber, Pear provides 12 grams of net carbs, a moderate amount, neither too high nor perfect. The glycemic index of Pear is 38, slightly lower than my expectation. Even though this index is under 40, I still notice a blood sugar increase after eating pears, similar to apples. Therefore, we categorize pears in the yellow bin. Eating a medium-sized pear is fine for me. I won't eat 3, but 1 is no problem. Like most fruits, I always pay attention to my insulin dosage. Kiwi. Another fruit rich in vitamin C. I know some of you live in New Zealand, where there's plenty of kiwis. Some of you have asked me to talk about kiwi, so here's the information for you. Kiwi has about 14 grams of carbs per 100 grams, minus 3 grams of fiber, we get 11 grams of net carbs. That's a pretty good level, close to my goal of 10 grams or slightly less for low-carb fruit. The glycemic index of kiwi is 53, within the ADA's recommendation of under 55, but still higher than my ideal level of under 40. Therefore, kiwi might not be the best choice for blood sugar control, but I can still enjoy about 2 kiwis without significantly raising my blood sugar. However, I need to make sure I get the right insulin dose and inject about 15–20 minutes beforehand. For those not reliant on insulin, I recommend enjoying kiwi in moderation and ensuring that your blood sugar remains well controlled. Grapefruit. Grapefruit is an excellent choice for blood sugar control. Each 100 grams of grapefruit contains about 11 grams of carbs, and after subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we get 9 grams of net carbs, perfectly within my ideal range of under 10. The glycemic index of grapefruit is 25, very good as it doesn't cause a sudden increase in blood sugar after eating. In my testing, I've confirmed that grapefruit has a mild impact on blood sugar, making it a top choice in the green category. However, I've also realized that grapefruit can be controversial. Many in the comments have highlighted that people on certain medications should avoid grapefruit as it can affect how the body metabolizes the medication. This doesn't affect me, but if you're on medication, discuss with your doctor before adding grapefruit to your diet. Mango. Mango is a delicious tropical fruit, rich in flavor and vitamins, especially vitamin E. Although I love eating mangoes, it's important to note that mango contains about 15 grams of carbs per 100 grams, and after subtracting 2 grams of fiber, we get 13 grams of net carbs. The glycemic index of mango is 55, higher than my ideal threshold of under 40. In blood sugar tests, I've noticed a high increase in sugar levels after eating mangoes, peaking around 45 to 50 minutes. Therefore, mangoes must be categorized in the red bin, though I still regularly enjoy them. To eat mangoes safely, I usually inject insulin 20 or even 25 minutes beforehand. I also want to talk about dried mango, an increasingly popular product. The drying process changes how the body processes glucose from the fruit. When mango is dried, most of its water content is removed, increasing the net carb content but retaining all the sugar. While 100 grams of fresh mango have 13 grams of net carbs, dried mango can contain up to 39 grams. This also causes the glycemic index to drop as the body takes longer to process the carbs, so blood sugar rises slower after eating dried mango compared to fresh. The same happens with other dried fruits. This is fascinating and part of the reason I started working with the Glycemic Academy, my training program that helps you live the life you want with stable blood sugar and low HbA1c. Cucumber. Cucumber, with its nutritional composition, fully meets the requirements of a fruit beneficial for people with diabetes. For instance, it has a low glycemic index (GI), contains no starch, has low carbohydrates, and is rich in fiber. Indeed, in cup of sliced cucumber, there are 8 calories, 1.89 gram of carbohydrates, and 0.3 gram of fiber. Additionally, it provides a significant amount of essential vitamins and minerals to the body such as vitamins B, C, K, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, etc. Particularly, cucumber contains numerous active substances beneficial for the health of people with diabetes, notably flavonoids, a strong antioxidant that can fend off the attack of harmful free radicals in the body. Next is triterpenes, an active substance that has anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving, cholesterol-lowering effects, thereby preventing arteriosclerosis. Although studies on the effect of cucumber on blood sugar levels in the body are limited to animal models, these are still promising signs regarding cucumber's ability to control blood sugar. Apricot and guava. Finally, I want to introduce you to my secret fruits in the fight against diabetes. Both have under 10 grams of net carbs per 100 grams and a GI index under 35, falling into the green category. First is apricot, with about 9 grams of carbs and 2 grams of fiber, giving us 7 grams carbs. Combined with a GI of 34, apricots are an excellent choice for diabetics. I find that my blood sugar slightly and slowly increases after eating apricots, easy to control for both insulin-dependent and non-dependent individuals. The second is guava, a delicious fruit. Each 100 grams of guava contains 14 grams of carbs, but among them, 5 grams are fiber, leaving us with 9 grams of net carbs. Combined with a GI of only 25, guava is even better. My blood sugar gently and slowly increases after eating guava, easy to control. In conclusion, I want to share my thoughts on the best type of fruit for diabetics. Although we have many fruits in the green category, it's important that you like and enjoy the fruit. If you don't like it, you won't eat it. For me, avocado is the #1 choice because nothing beats homemade guacamole spread on blood sugar-friendly bread. If you find this video helpful, please like, subscribe to King, and ring the bell to stay updated with useful information. Goodbye and see you in the next video.